ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हि या सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। So again, it's the time of Durga Puja, although we don't realize it much in Western countries, but in India it is the festival time, Navaratri, 9 nights of celebration. So this is the autumn season, and autumn is Sharat Kal in Indian language. So it is regarded as one of the best seasons in India. The sun is on its southern journey, and the heat is less. That terrible summer heat is gone, and there's a feeling of freedom from that heat, and monsoon is just about over, but it rains, wash all the dirt and all this, and the trees, shrubs and creepers and grass, everything assumes a wonderful color, especially in villages we can see that. And villages, it's a time of peace because the granaries are full with freshly garnered grains, and the fields offer large open spaces. I'll just show you a few photographs of the autumn season in Indian villages. So here you can see how beautiful it looks. And at this time, along the borders of the fields, we can see rows of white and light pink kashful. Kashful is a kind of tall grass, but it is known as flowers. Fool means flower in Hindi as well as Bengali. So at this time we can see the kashful, and I'll just show you some pictures so that you know what that kashful is like. Here you can see. So, and overhead you can see the sky is deep blue with an occasional white cloud sailing across, and silence everywhere. So it is as if, they say that it is as if nature prepares herself for the advent of the Divine Mother. So it is said that which other season can be a better one to welcome the Divine Mother, because summer is extremely hot, winters are cold in many parts of India, monsoons are full of rains. Yeah. So, and the puja which we celebrate, especially in Bengal, the Durga Puja, is, as you know, all about the advent of the Divine Mother. So, this is the worship of the Divine Mother, and it is one of the oldest forms of worship known to humanity. From prehistorical times, it has been coming, and it is not only in India, many parts of the world, as we had seen in the earlier talk on the Durga Puja last year. But it is only in India that mother worship went beyond the framework of a small cult and became a full-fledged living religion. Because you see, Indians are thorough in this field, at least in religious fields they are thorough. So here you can see a photo of Divine Mother being worshipped in one form. So in India, this mother worship became a full-fledged living religion supported by an advanced theology, scriptures, rites, customs, festivals. So it is followed by millions of people even in modern times. And in Bengal, of course, as we all know, worship of God as mother attained the highest form of, we can say, a cultural refinement and ritualism and became the dominant faith and practice of the people. So Sri Ramakrishna also used to say that to look upon God as mother, Matri Bhav is the purest and highest form of sadhana. He used to say, Matri Bhav, Shuddha Bhav, sadhana shesh katha. Because naturally we feel a natural spontaneous devotion and love when we try to think of God as our mother. And as we know, the most popular worship or puja of the Divine Mother in Bengal is the Durga Puja. It is the national festival of Bengal where Sri Ramakrishna had been born. Has the same importance as we do Christmas here. So it is the annual event to which every Hindu looks forward with great joy. So it is said that in mythological terms, it is said that Mother, Divine Mother, at this time comes down from her icy abode on Mount Kailash. Kailash is supposed to be where Lord Shiva resides. And Divine Mother is the consort of Shiva. So she is there in Kailash throughout the year, but for just 3 days she comes down and to the to us the plane of our ordinary mortals and bestows her blessings on humankind. So the balmy autumn air, the green fields with the paddy crop waving its head, the shining rivers and trees. So this season to Hindus, all these herald the coming of the Divine Mother. And in Durga Puja, festivity, presents are given, boys and girls have new clothes. Not boys and girls, everyone, even elderly people. Food and clothing are distributed, and the houses in which the puja is celebrated are so beautifully decorated. Many days previously, everything it starts. Songs to the Divine Mother are sung. And image, we all know the Durga image, very richly decorated. So, the right foot is on the lion. I'll just show you one photograph. So, see here, right foot is on her Vahana. Vahana means on which she travels. So that is the lion himself, lion itself. And the other foot is on the shoulder of the demon Mahishasura, who is fighting a war with her. So she is surrounded by her celestial sons and daughters. Kartika, the warrior god, you can see. Just extreme left, you can see that this is Kartika, the warrior god. And in the Ganesha, the giver of success, extreme right, you can see Lord Ganesha with the head of an elephant. And then Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, and Saraswati, the goddess of learning. So all these we can see here. So to our devout worshippers, Durga becomes a living presence. She's a living presence. And naturally, in these countries, it is very difficult to understand. One has to go to India, live in a Hindu household, especially where the puja is celebrated here. And of course, in the end comes Vijayadashmi, universal rejoicing. exchange of greetings and salutations, meeting our friends and relatives, goodwill and fellow feeling, etc. So this is the Durga Puja in short. And now today we will discuss, as you know, the first time Durga Puja was celebrated in an image, in Belur Math. So you see what happened was when Swamiji returned from the West and all, he was much criticized by many orthodox people, so to say, because they said that Hindus should not cross the ocean, they should not go to other lands and all. So all these silly ideas were there. So unfortunately, many orthodox Hindus used to even criticize Swami Vivekananda and the ways of life in Belur Math. Of course, Swami Vivekananda did not care much for these, but of course he was also concerned that due to some minor issue, they should not turn away, go against the opinions of the surrounding people. You see, because whenever an organization is built, it is not only for monks, it is for everybody. So we should always try to get the support of the local people in every ashrama, because it is for them that the ashrama is there. But again, hearing the report of such criticism from his disciples, Swamiji would say, yes, these people are criticizing us, but we should have no ill feeling, even if they slander us. Or sometimes he would say, without persecution, no beneficent idea can enter into the heart of a society. Every new idea is persecuted in the beginning. Or he would say to everybody, go on working without an eye to the results. One day you are sure to reap the fruits of it. So this was the condition that many Orthodox Hindus, even close to Belur Math, were not supportive of Swamiji's work. But surprisingly, one day everybody saw in 1901 that a multitude of people, a multitude of Brahmins, Pandits, Orthodox people, they were going to Belur Math, either on foot or they had come from steamer or from a train. So many were proceeding. This was in October 1901. So what was the occasion? Why were these people who were not so sympathetic, why were they going? The occasion was the autumn festival was being held for the first time in Belur Math. Previously, it had been held by the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, but in Belur Math, it was being held for the first time. So 1 minute, I'll just unmute everybody. Some sound, mute everybody. Sound is coming. Yeah. So this was the first Durga Puja in image at Belur Math, which had been, the monastery had been consecrated only 3 years ago. But as I said, it was, however, not the first occasion Mother Durga was being worshipped by the Ramakrishna order. Shivanandaji, the second president of our order, had said, Swamiji introduced the worship of Mother Durga at the monastery at Baranagar itself, the first monastery. But there the worship used to be performed in a consecrated pitcher. Pitcher is called Ghat. So in a pitcher the worship was there, but in 1901, this was the first time that the worship of Mother Durga was done in an image. So As I said, many Pandits and Brahmins of the neighboring places would criticize Swami Vivekananda for their innovating and liberal ideas, their modes of work, etc. And no caste system is observed in Belur Math. People of all castes, all clans, all religions, everyone is welcome there. But after this Durga Puja, even these bigoted people who had considered themselves the custodians of Hindus, so to say, gave up their animosity and attended the puja. So they became convinced after the puja that the monks of the Ramakrishna order were truly Sanatani sannyasis, means they were follower of Hinduism. And this was also one of the motives of Swami Vivekananda, so that to remove all the doubts and skepticism from the minds of the Orthodox Hindus. So before the puja, Swami Vivekananda had written in a letter that I have not seen the Durga Puja for 10 years and I intend to see it now. So he had cherished this idea since several months, and one day in Belur Math he asked his disciple Sharat Chandra Chakravarti to bring him the book called Raghunandan Smriti. So I will just quote from a book. Show you the cover of that book. Actually, in Bengali, it is called Sami Shishyu Sombad. That is, in English, it is called Talks with Swami Vivekananda. This is published by Advaita Ashrama. So, the incident I will quote from the book. So, in May or June 1901, seeing his disciple at Belur Math, Swamiji said, "Bring me a copy of Ashtavinshati Tattva, or 28 categories of Raghunandan." So, who was the blessed soul, blessed disciple to whom Swami Vivekananda said that? He was Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. There is only one photograph existing of this disciple. So, this is the disciple, Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. To him, Swamiji asked for that book. So the disciple asked, what will you do with Raghunandan's book, Raghunandan Smriti, which the present educated India calls a heap of superstition? So Swamiji said, why? Raghunandan was a wonderful scholar of his time. Collecting the ancient scriptures, he codified the customs and observances of the Hindus, adapting them to the needs of the changed times and circumstances. So then the disciple asked, what will you do with the Smriti of Raghunandan? Swamiji said, this time I have a desire to celebrate the Durga Puja, the worship of the goddess Durga in Belur Math, and if the funds are forthcoming, I shall worship Mahamaya. Therefore, I have a mind to read the ceremonial forms of that worship. So, when you come to the Belur Math next Sunday, you must bring a copy of the book with you. So, when this disciple, you see there, Sharat Chandra Chakravarti, when he came next week, he brought a copy of the book, and Swamiji, after a few days, told him, I have finished the Raghunandan Smriti presented by you. If possible, I shall celebrate the puja of the Divine Mother. And you see, this puja was divinely ordained because another very great soul, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, I'll show you a photo. Yeah. This is the photo of the disciple. Most of you will recognize him. This is Raja Maharaj Swami Brahmananda. So 4 or 5 days before the puja, Swami Brahmananda had a vision while he was sitting in the Belur Math compound facing the Ganges. What was the vision, that wonderful vision? What was it? He saw Mother Durga herself come over the Ganga from the Dakshineshwar side and stop near one of the trees in the Belur Math compound. This was the divine vision which Swami Brahmananda had. And just at that time, Swami Vivekananda came by boat from Calcutta. And he asked, where is Raja? Raja means Swami Brahmananda ji. So, on seeing Swami Brahmananda, he said to him, this time make all arrangements for the Durga Puja by bringing the image to the Math, to Belur Math. So very little time was left, you see, at that time, and getting an image is not easy. So Swami Brahmananda replied, I shall let you know after a day or two. It will have to be seen whether there is an image available now, because there is not much time left. So just give me 2 days time. Then the Swami told him of the vision that he had had. He had seen the Durga Puja being celebrated at Belur Math. Swamiji told him that Swamiji had this vision. On hearing this, Swami Brahmananda told Swami Vivekananda about his own vision which he had just had, that the Divine Mother was actually coming from Belur Math, from the Dakshineshwar side, and coming over the Ganga to Belur Math. So, on news of these two divine visions, there was a great flutter, a great sensation at the Belur Math. And Brahmachari Krishan Lal, later Swami Dhirananda, a disciple of Holy Mother, was immediately sent to search for an image at Kumartoli. So Kumartoli is, Kumar means a potter. So Kumartoli means a potter's town. So it is a locality in Calcutta where all these images are made. I'll just show you some wonderful pictures. For those who have not seen, it will be wonderful. So see here, Durga Puja and all these images are being made by one of the potters, Kumar. It is in central Calcutta, not very far from Advaita Ashrama where I was. It is just say 20 minutes drive and all that. So we have gone there many times. See here, what a beautiful sight we can see. Although God is one, although Divine Mother is one, she has assumed so many forms here. So many Kalis you can see. And see another picture, so many. This is the first stage of the image, you see, just with mud they make. So see here, so many Durgas and so many Parvatis and so many Saraswatis you can see. And this image is a beautiful one, the head of the goddess. How much work, how much labor is required for making each feature. So this is the place known as Kumartoli. Okay. So Brahmachari Krishna Lal, later Swami Dhirananda, was sent to this place. Everybody goes there only for the image. So luckily, very luckily, one image was available, since the customer who had placed the order for it, for the Durga image, the customer who had placed the order for it had not taken delivery. So when Swamiji was informed, Swami Premananda and all went to Calcutta to ask the Holy Mother her permission about the, before doing Durga Puja or permission, they asked. Mother gave her approval. So Swamiji at once ordered the image to be brought to Calcutta. And this news that Durga Puja was to be celebrated in an image in Belur Math soon spread all over the city, because Swami Vivekananda by that time was a famous figure, and all the householder disciples also joined with these monks to make the celebration a success. Now, on the northern part of the lawn, behind the main temple, which is now just in front of the old temple, a temporary structure was put up where Mother could be installed for worship. It was facing west. And the pandal means that structure extended right up to the mango tree, which still stands in the courtyard. So without a photograph, it is not possible to understand for those who have not gone to Belur Math. So I will just share, then you can see. See, this is the old temple. Okay, here on the top floor is the old temple, and the tree you see on the right, the branches and leaves you can see. I'll show you another photograph. So this tree is the tree where Swami Vivekananda used to sit. Okay, now another photo I'll show you from an elevation so that you can have an idea. Old photograph, see here. Now see, this building is the building on the left. On the top floor there is the old shrine, and this is the courtyard in front, and the tree in the middle still stands today with some support, and it is under this tree that Swami Vivekananda would often used to sit. And the building to the right, as you know, of course, is Swami Vivekananda's room. So the Durga Puja was held here, and there was a big structure erected here, temporary structure, and it occupied nearly the whole of the courtyard and extended right up to this tree under which Swami Vivekananda used to sit. Okay, this thing is now behind the new temple. Behind the new temple it is there. So it was here that the image was placed for worship. So from this I think you have got an idea. Now of course the image beautifully decorated was brought a few days before the Shashti. Shashti means the 6th lunar day. Actually the puja is celebrated on 3 days, Saptami, Ashtami and Navami. That is the 7th, 8th and 9th lunar days. So all the preparations are completed before the 6th day. So the 6th day or the Shashti fell on October 18 that year. So Mother came, and under the able management of Swami Brahmananda, Belur Math was provided with all the variety of puja requisites. So many things are required, for Durga Puja. Hundreds of things are required. Many utensils, this, that, and everything is worshipped. Even Mahishasur is worshipped. Even that lion which is connected, which is the carrier of the Devi, that is worshipped. Every little thing, even there is a small mouse, that is also worshipped. Everything is worshipped. So you can imagine all the paraphernalia which is required. So everything was arranged, and naturally there could not be any Durga Puja without the presence of the living Durga. Who was living Durga? We all know, Holy Mother herself. So naturally Durga Puja was impossible without her being present. So everybody humbly requested Holy Mother to come to Belur Math during the puja days, and along with her lady companions, the mother graciously came and stayed at the Nilambar Babu's garden house. That garden was rented for 1 month. That was not part of the Belur Math then. It became a part of Belur Math about, I think, 37, 38 years ago it was acquired. I'll show you the photo also. So every day the presence of Holy Mother and her spiritual companions, Golap Ma, Yogin Ma, etc., gave immense joy to everybody. The whole Belur Math vibrated, throbbed with life, and the whole atmosphere was surcharged with divine bliss, we can imagine. So just imagine the setting, Holy Mother herself, then Swami Vivekananda, Swami Brahmananda, Swami Sardananda, Swami Premananda. Each one was a spiritual giant, and all these people were present in the first Durga Puja. Of course, Swamiji, we know, passed away in 1902. So just imagine the atmosphere, and all the devotees were absolutely, swimming in the divine bliss, the holy company of Swamiji, Brahmananda, Premananda, Adbhutananda, Sardananda, and of course Holy Mother herself. So, as I told that, the nearby garden house of Nilambar Mukherjee was rented. So this is the, one second, that building photo, one second, let me share. Yeah. So this is the front view of the Nilambar Babu's garden house. So here to the right, there is another building which you cannot see completely. In this building, the monks stay, and to the right, you can just see a part of the building here. You can see the tree and a part of the building. That is where Holy Mother stayed, and her shrine is there. So that shrine photo also I will show you. That room is a shrine now where Holy Mother stayed. This is that room. This is the room today. So Holy Mother stayed in this room whenever she came to the Belur Math. And when you go out of that room, there is on the roof where Mother performed the Panchatapa, that is the austerity of 5 fires and all that. So of course that is a different subject. So this is Nilambar Babu's garden house. So this was rented for the accommodation of Holy Mother, and she came to Belur Math before the pujas on October 30 and was able to be present throughout the festival. So her permission was taken, and Brahmachari Krishna Lal himself, one who had gone to the Kumartoli to look for image, he was the worshipper, he was the pujari. And Ishwar Chandra Bhattacharya, that is the father of Swami Ramakrishnananda, Shashi Maharaj, he was the Tantra Dharaka. Tantra Dharaka means the director of the worship. All these are hundreds of mantras and all that, rituals. So it is not possible to memorize everything. So the worshipper memorizes as much as possible, but when he forgets, the prompting is done by the Tantra Dharaka, and whatever is to be done by the worshipper, offering this flower to that, offering that flower, chanting this mantra, everything is guided by the director. Director is called the Tantra Dharaka. So the father of Swami Ramakrishnananda himself, Ishwar Chandra Bhattacharya, a devout Brahmin, well versed in the tantras and mantras, he was the Tantra Dharaka. Now, as some people may know, in Durga Puja, there is a bali. Bali means an animal is sacrificed, generally a goat, that is sacrificed to the Divine Mother on one of the days. Swamiji wanted to do all the rituals, so he also wanted to do that. But some disciples of the Master, they felt very hurt to think that some sacrifice would be done of an animal, of a living being. So they begged Holy Mother to appeal to Swamiji, and the sacrifice of animals was dropped at Holy Mother's wish. She said to Swamiji, "Yes, my son, please do worship the Durga Puja. Please do worship Mother Durga at Belur Math. Nothing in the world can be accomplished without worshipping Shakti. But my son, don't sacrifice an animal. You are monks, you have taken the vow of offering fearlessness to all beings. So don't sacrifice any animal." So even today, no animal is sacrificed at Belur Math for Durga Puja. So the puja began, and first thing to do before the puja starts is make a sankalpa. Sankalpa, what is sankalpa? It is a solemn vow undertaking to perform a certain deed. Or you can say that it is a kind of oath that the worshipper takes an oath that I, my name being this and this, on this day, at this time, at this place, I hereby take a vow to perform this. That is the form of the sankalpa. So in whose name, it simply means in whose name the puja will be done. So in whose name the puja could be done, because all were monks. So Swami Vivekananda said that the sankalpa should be done in Holy Mother's name. So he said, we are penniless beggars, we are monks. The worship won't be done in our name because sannyasis are debarred from performing Vedic rituals. So that still today, the worship of Durga Puja is always by a brahmachari in Belur Math, never by a sannyasi. So the sankalpa was done in Holy Mother's name. So Holy Mother was officially performing the puja. So Shashti, the first day, just before the Saptami, the sixth day came, and the rites connected with Adhivasa and Bodhana, etc., were performed under the Vilva tree in front where Swamiji's temple stands. So that for those who have not been to Belur Math, I will just show you the photo where that spot is now. So here you can see, this is the Vilva tree in this Swamiji's temple in Belur Math, and to the right a small tree is there. This is the Vilva tree. Actually, the original tree is no longer there. So this tree has been planted here, but it is the same spot. Okay. So just before the first day of the worship, that is just before the seventh day, some rites connected with the worship were performed under this tree. This tree means that original tree is not there, but on the spot where you can see the tree now. Okay. So another photo I'll show so that it will be clear from another side. See, this is the tree and this is the spot. So the initial rites before the worship were done at this place. Okay. So now the puja started from Saptami, or the seventh lunar day, But on the first day itself, Swami Vivekananda had an attack of fever, which prevented him from joining the worship. But this wasn't an ordinary fever. What actually happened? I'll just relate. So, Holy Mother had come, and the monks were working hard for the puja. So, Swami Vivekananda came to Holy Mother and said, Mother, please make me lie down with fever. So, Swami Vivekananda is begging Holy Mother, please make me lie down with fever. And no sooner had Swami Vivekananda said this, that he was struck down with a severe attack of fever. So I quote Holy Mother, she said, I thought, goodness gracious, what is this? How will he be cured? So don't be anxious, mother, said Naren. Naren means Swamiji. I have myself begged for this fever. What is the reason? My reason is this. These boys means the young monks of the Ramakrishna order in Belur Math, these boys are working so hard for Durga Puja, but if I see the slightest mistake, I shall fly into a rage and become very angry. I'll scold them. I may also slap them. So that will be very painful to them as well as to me. So therefore I thought it would be better to lie down with fever for some time. So after the 1 or 2 days, then Holy Mother came to Swamiji and said, my son, the work is over now. Now the main worship is going on. Please get up. So Swamiji said that he was all right and got up from his bed as if nothing had happened. So although it seems very unbelievable, but this is true. So this was what had happened. Yeah. So on the second day, that is Ashtami, that is the 8th day, Swamiji rose from his bed and slowly came down to attend the Sandhi Puja. Sandhi Puja, Sandhi means conjunction. So Sandhi Puja is supposed to be the most important and solemn function of the whole puja. And he came, he made 3 offerings of flowers, etc. at the feet of the Divine Mother. And next day, that is the 8th day or the Ashtami, the Kumari Puja was performed. Kumari means, a young girl. So they are worshipped as a living manifestation of the Divine Mother. Now, of course, only one young girl is worshipped in Belur Math for Kumari Puja. But on that day, Swami Vivekananda himself worshipped 9 little girls as the Divine Mother herself. He saw that manifestation of Divine Mother in them and worshipped them. He placed flowers at the feet of the Kumaris and offered sweets, etc. and then also prostrated before them. And one of the Kumaris was a very small girl. So actually, while worshipping her, Swamiji put red sandal paste on her forehead like this. Now you see, the third eye of the goddess Durga is supposed to be here, like this, on the forehead, like Shiva. This is supposed to be the third eye. So Swamiji, when he placed that red sandal paste like this, he was so immersed in the thought of the Divine Mother that he said, when he said, did like this, he said, have I hurt the third eye of the Divine Mother? So actually, we just see small girls, but people like Swami Vivekananda, they are all the time absorbed in God. So they actually see the Divine Mother herself there. So while doing this, he was so much absorbed that he said that, have I heard the third eye of the Divine Mother? So Sri Ramakrishna's nephew Ramlal Dada's youngest daughter Radha Rani was one of the Kumaris at that puja. And on the third day, Navami day, that is the ninth day, Swami Vivekananda was well again and at night sang a few songs of Divine Mother which Sri Ramakrishna used to sing on such occasions. So then came the last day, Vijayadashmi, 10th day. So on that day, the image of Mother Durga is immersed in the Ganges or the Ganga. So at the time of immersion, all this sound is there. That in Bengali it is called dhak. Dum 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 dum. All these sounds are there. People are joyously laughing, dancing in front of the image. So on that day, Swami Brahmananda himself danced like a boy before the image. So afterwards, I'll just show you a small video of this Dashami Puja, Dashami immersion at Belur Math. So Swami Brahmananda himself danced like a boy, and Swami Vivekananda and Swami Premananda watched him. And at the end of the puja, Swamiji gave a dakshina to Ramakrishna-nandaji's father, who was the Tantra Dharaka, through the Holy Mother. Holy Mother presented the dakshina. Dakshina means a gift. That is a tradition. If you call someone and if he does something for you, worship and all, you have to offer something. It's a courtesy. So Holy Mother was very pleased with the puja and remarked, Mother Durga will come here every year. And when everything was over, she returned to her Calcutta residence after blessing Swami Vivekananda and all the other monks of Belur Math. So Swami Vivekananda's joy knew no bounds, of course, after the worship. On 12th November 1901, he wrote to Sister Nivedita, since the Durga Puja I have been very ill and so could not reply to your letter. We had a grand puja here of Durga lasting nearly 4 days. But alas, I was down with fever all the time. The fever which he himself had brought about. And on the same day, he also wrote to Sister Christine. He wrote, we brought a clay image of the mother with 10 hands, standing with one foot on a lion, the other on a demon. Her 2 daughters, the goddess of wealth and the goddess of learning and music. Goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, and the goddess of learning is Saraswati. So they stood on either side of the lotuses. Beneath her 2 sons, the god of war, that is the Kartikeya, and the god of wisdom, which is Ganesha. Thousands of people were entertained. So this is what Swamiji wrote. And one of the most important things was a number of Orthodox Brahmins and Pandits of the nearby Bali, Belur, Uttarpara and Dakshineshwar localities were invited. And one of the main items, of the celebration is feeding of the poor people. So all the devotees were served the prasad of the Divine Mother. Everyone without any discrimination was warmly welcomed and entertained by the monks. So there was a wonderful atmosphere of joy which could be palpably felt. So from 1902 to 1911, again, the worship of Mother Durga was celebrated in Belur Math, but it was not in an image. It was again performed in a pitcher or ghat. But again from most probably it must have been done because there was no money in those days, you see. So from 1912 again, the mother's worship in an image was resumed, and most probably from that time till today, it is unbroken. This tradition is unbroken that every year mother is worshipped in an image. And of course, lakhs and lakhs of people come to Belur Math to witness the worship. especially Kumari Puja. My God, you can't find a place to stand in Belur Math. My goodness, the place has become too small. Yeah. So this is a short account of the first Durga Puja worship at Belur Math.